When we think about Native American culture, our minds often travel to the vast open plains, the rhythmic sound of drums, and the deep spiritual connection between people and the natural world. But hidden within this world are countless legends and sacred stories about one animal that completely reshaped their way of life, the horse. The horse was not always present in North America. In fact, before the arrival of Spanish explorers in the 16th century, many native tribes had never seen horses. And yet, when the horse returned to the continent, something remarkable happened. Within just a few generations, horses became more than an animal to these communities. They became a symbol of freedom, power, and connection to the spirit world. Tribes like the Lakota, the Comanche, and the Nez Perce didn't just use horses for transportation or hunting. They wove horses directly into their culture, their traditions, and their legends. A horse was not seen as a tool, it was seen as a partner, a spiritual being that carried messages between the human world and the spirit world. For many, the horse represented strength, loyalty, and survival. One forgotten story comes from the Lakota people, who believed that horses were sacred gifts given to them by the Great Spirit. They told stories of horses who could sense danger before it arrived, who could guide hunters toward food in desperate times, and who carried warriors safely home when all hope seemed lost. The horse was considered so spiritually powerful that warriors would often paint sacred symbols on their horses before battle, not only to protect themselves but to protect their horse's spirit. Another fascinating legend surrounds the Comanche, a tribe often called the Lords of the Plains because of their unmatched skill with horses. To the Comanche, a horse was not property, it was family. They believed that a warrior's spirit and his horse's spirit were tied together. If one was strong, the other became stronger. Some stories even suggest that horses could understand prayers whispered to them during the night, carrying those prayers into dreams and guiding warriors when they awoke. The Nez Perce tribe took this bond even further. They became world-renowned breeders of the Appaloosa horse, a breed with spotted coats that are as beautiful as they are unique. The Nez Perce believed these horses carried the wisdom of the earth in their patterns, and that no two horses looked alike because each one was born with a different spiritual destiny. These horses weren't just bred for strength, they were bred for intelligence and connection. Beyond these specific tribes, the horse became a universal symbol of freedom across Native American culture. Imagine a people who once had to travel on foot across endless plains, suddenly given the ability to ride for miles in a single day. Horses changed the very rhythm of life. They allowed tribes to follow the great bison herds with speed and precision, they expanded trade routes, and they became the heart of community survival. But the legends weren't only about survival, they carried deeper spiritual meanings. Some tribes believed that when a warrior died in battle, his horse carried his soul into the afterlife, galloping into the spirit world so that his journey would not end in darkness but in eternal freedom. Others saw the horse as a teacher, an animal that reminded people to live with courage, balance, and unity with nature. Sadly, many of these stories have been overshadowed by history. Colonization, war, and displacement pushed much of native culture into silence. But the legends remain. Today, when you see wild mustangs running across the open American West, you're not just looking at animals, you're looking at living echoes of a bond that transformed entire civilizations. The horse, in Native American culture, is not just a creature of flesh and bone. It is a storyteller, a bridge to the spirit world, and a reminder that freedom is not given, it is lived. This provides the transformative element. These forgotten legends remind us that when humans and animals form a true bond, something magical is born. A bond that no amount of time or history can erase.